swan was said to fly. There came a soul with ideas many, who loved the land but more loved pennies. Those ideas caused a fuss here, and the ending's up to us here on the day the Lorax cried.
At the far end of town,
where the griffin grass grows,
and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing except old crows,
is the street of the lofted Lorax.
And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today
The Lorax once stood.
just as long as it stood. For somebody lifted the Lorax away.
What was the Lorax?
And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere?
From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows,
The old Onceler still lives there. Ask him, he knows.
you won't see the Onceler.
Don't knock at his door. He stays in his workroom at the top of his store.
He learns in his workroom, cold under the river.
Where he makes his own clothes and Miss Muffin moves.
And on special late midnights in August,
He peeks out of the shutters
and sometimes he speaks.
and tells him the Lorax is lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps.
If you're willing to pay,
On the end of a rope that's down its tail.
and that would cost him 15 cents.
In the nail. And the shell of the great-great-grandmother snail.
And he pulls up the tail,
Takes the most careful count to see if you take him.
to the proper amount.
And then how you take him away to his snub.
His secret strange hole.
Restless luck. Then he grunts.
I will call you by whispermophone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone.
Down slept the whispermophone to your ear.
And the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down,
To a snurgly hose,
and he sounds as if he had,
smallest bees up his nose.
Now I'll tell you.
he says with his teeth sounding gray,
How the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back. Such a long, long time back. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the ponds were still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang out in space.
You're at the
softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy. And he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy.
Mister?
He said with a sawdusty sneeze.
I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees. The trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs.
He was very upset as he shouted and puffed.
What is that thing whizzing out of my truffula tuft?
Look, Lorax, there's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I am being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed to find something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains or covers for bicycle seats.
Sir, you're crazy with grief. There was no one on earth who would buy that fool thneed.
But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just that minute, a chap came along. And he thought that the thneed I knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax.
Ha! You poor silly guy. You can never tell what some people will buy.
I repeat, I speak for the tree.
I'm busy. Shut up, if you please.
I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts and I said,
Listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Once-Lure family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch, turn left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch.
Radio phones were buzzing, it was Monster on the line. He said he had a great idea, come quick, don't waste the time. Repeat our transportation, it was getting kind of rough to make it through that old bridge, but now our souls are tough. We're the wanderers, the Monster wanderers. We travel round and round and round and round and round. Well, walking very civilette, the weather it was swell. O'er hill and valley, and around to wish you well. And when we took the sharp right at the village of South Stitch, we almost lost control, and here we landed in the ditch. We're the wanderers, the Once-Lure wanderers. We travel round and round, we firmly on the ground. Yeah, we're the wanderers, the Once-Lure wanderers. We travel round and round and round and round and round.
In no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-Lure family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Right this way, sir. Just take a look in the mirror. This is one gorgeous suit, huh? Miss Needlebaum, tell Mr. Peterson what you think of his new suit.
Mr. Peterson, that suit is you.
Well, it is a nice suit, but don't you think the left sleeve is a bit short?
Too short. Mr. Peterson, This suit was made by the finest tailors in Needville. I can't see anything the matter with that sleeve. But perhaps if you would lean a bit to the left. Ah, yes, perfect.
Well, that does help the sleeve, but now the jacket seems to be bunching up around the collar.
Let me take a look at it. Mr. Peterson, if I could have you lean forward just a touch. Sir, not a wrinkle in sight.
Well, that does make the jacket fit better, but now the trousers seem a bit big. Perhaps this just isn't the suit for me.
Mr. Peterson, would I sell you a suit that was too big? I admit it is slightly roomy in the seat, but that's the style today. Mr. Peterson, could you pull up a bit on the waist? Up a little more? A little more? Ah, yes, perfect.
Well, that does help a bit, but don't you think it could use a little alteration? I mean, look at the left pant leg. It's still too big. Maybe I could leave it here and sleep on it.
Mr. P, I wouldn't hear of it. If it's alterations you want, then it's alterations you'll get. But, Mr. Peterson, could you pull up a bit on the pants leg first? Ah, yes, perfect. Like a hand in a glove.
I don't think.
Mr. Peterson, you know you are under no obligation, but I do have to tell you, you are one handsome sight in that suit.
Do you really think so? You say I'm dashing? I've always wanted to look dashing.
Mr. Peterson, dashing doesn't do it justice. Eddie, come over here. What word would you use to describe this suit?
Mr. B, it's class. Real class. You and that suit were made for each other. Mr. Binney, Miss Needlebaum, take Mr. Peterson over to the register.
Oh my, look at that poor fella. Yes, it's awful. But doesn't his suit fit nicely?
5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody's wearing a hot red now.
Come on, baby, got to get your knees now.
I know you need to like it, put it on your head now.
Come on, baby, got to get your knees now.
They come in lots of colors and they don't need a size. With your imagination, it could be a surprise. So come on, everybody needs a knee.
Delivery, sir.
Oh, what's this? Oh, it's our order of needs. Ada Lorax, got any customers for these here needs? Oh, Mr. P.
Oh, Mr. Peterson, don't go. We have a need for you. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which chopped out 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making queens 4 times as fast as before, and that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the next week he knocked on my new office door.
I'm the Lorax who speaks with the trees. You seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloos who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruit to go around. And my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. food, and I hope they behave. Good luck, boys.
And he sent them away. I, the once there, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered my loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth, to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. Went right on biggering, selling more needs, and I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes, when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes.
I'm Lorax.
He coughed and he whiffed, he sneezed and he snuffled, he snargled, he sniffed.
Whatzeler, you're making such spongulous smoke. My poor swabby swan, when I can't sing a note. No one can sing when a smog in his throat. And so, he part of my thought. They cannot live here, so I've sent him to Mars. Where will they go? I don't truthfully know. Then they have supply for a month or a year to escape from the smog we've smogged up around here. What's more?
He snapped, his dander was up.
Let me say a few words about Bluffity Gluff. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Bluffity Gluff, also sloppity slop. What do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old one-sealer man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum for their gills are all plumb. So I'm setting them off. Well, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get whooped. So scary.
And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax.
Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, yap and say bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my right turn. I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering to bring more truculatories into this need, which everyone needs. Give me the blues, monster, hell and heavy on me. Your smart is smothering us till we can hardly breathe. You done made this place so dirty, told all my friends to leave. The truck trees, we're all doing fine. Then you made a plea, a sentimental line. You dirty RF, a popular too. Now listen up, closer, or you'll be blue too. Won't you clean up your act, monster, so we can live side by side? The trees are all gone, monster. Where can we place you and hide? Someday you're gonna find out the Lorax was right. I got the love and love at
Then at that very moment we heard a loud whack. From out in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all.
No more trees.
No more sneeze. No more work to be done.
So in no time at all, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They hopped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now all that was left beneath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance, just gave me a very sad, sad backward glance, as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants. And I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place, through a hole in the smog without leaving a trace. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not.
Lost all of you, yes, are taking
story.
And we really hope you care.
And we're gonna share it with you if you stay right in your chair.
In the middle of your program.
There's a song you'll find within. When you sing, we'll begin to exit.
And we'll meet you in the gym.
As you leave, we're gonna give you a packet of seeds will help you grow.
So let's wrap up this fun alley.
Can you hit it, Miss Maestra?
Sure.